Well, hello everyone. My name is Puff, and welcome to another one of my speed paints. If you're new here, hi, how are you? It's great to meet you. And if you're a returning viewer, hi, how are you? It's great to see you again. Well, I'm including my sketch into this process because without the sketch, it would have just been very, very short. And that's the thing I like about the Cybertube style, is that I can draw it in maybe 30 minutes if I put myself, like in that mindset, because the anatomy doesn't always have to matter, such as Felix's back, but we'll fix that in a moment. But, yeah, so this is Felix from Cybertube, PewDiePie, if you haven't noticed that I use his real name, because that's how I associate myself with Felix. But, yeah, I made a post earlier about YouTubers constantly changing their appearance, and that kind of brought me to when I was drawing this picture, because when I first started out Cybertube, you'll notice that his hair was all blonde, and there was no beard. And now we're a year later, and only the top part is blonde, and there's still brown in it, and, and he has this beautiful Norwegian beard, and It just, I had to figure out how I was going to do this. Also, don't mind the background in this. I totally change it later, and I'll explain why. But, yeah, so I went with an appearance that was kind of recognizable as PewDiePie, but also kind of not what he looks like right now. So I got a little bit of the beard in, and I sketched in a little bit of a mustache. I erased it earlier in the sketch because I kept giggling at it, because I don't know, I looked at it, I giggled, and that's all I wanted to do, so I erased it, and I kind of added it in later, but yeah, there was a whole chunk of line art I forgot to record here, and that was how I make the outline thicker, because I was just totally in the zone, and I forgot to include it. Like, see here, you notice it's a little bit thicker on the outsides, and there's a little more depth to the outline. One day, maybe I'll remember to include that into my practice, but, look, he doesn't have a hunchback anymore. I finally fixed that. That took too long to notice, but I didn't use a reference picture for this, so that was kind of my fault, but, you'll notice that the background is very plain in the back, and there's a very specific reason for this, because when I was designing this picture, I wanted you to feel the weight of his punch, and I thought, if your eye is too preoccupied in the top, why would it go down and feel that weight from the hand? So when I finally make this picture all come together, because if you notice over there, there's a whole bunch of folders with a whole bunch of layers in it. But when I finally add this together, you'll see that your eye just gravitates right down towards that punch, and that's kind of what I wanted to go for. Because I wanted you to feel the weight of Felix's super and how powerful he can actually be, and why he was such a powerhouse when Cybertube was first enlisted. Or not enlisted, that's not the word I'm looking for, but feel free to add in the comments what word I'm looking for, but if you can figure it out. But yeah, so I'm adding a lot of glowy effects. It's, ooh, the suspense is killing. Why so many glowy effects? You're gonna find out in a few seconds, because I'm almost at the final picture. But I've started to add lighting back in a little bit into my pictures, because it was a little bit too bland, and here it is! Thank you so much for following along. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. Tell me why in the comments below. And hopefully, I will see you in the next video. Bye!